Yo, 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 yo. We're back for another edition of the Post Up. We got me. You all already know who I am. I'm Ron Yell, and I'm here with my boy B Ron back in the building. What's going on, B?
Yo, I'm doing pretty good, man. Back in the building. It's good to be here as always. Look forward to another good show with you, yos.
Yes, indeed. Ready? We're going to hit this quick three in the key and get straight to business. First, man, we want to lots of early commitments rolling in. Lots of early commitments rolled in when that period stopped just here this last Sunday, man. There was a lot going on, you feel me? A lot going on. Question I have is, out of these early commitments, man, who are you wanting to see most, and who are you looking forward to see what kind of gaps are going to be filled with these teams? Give me your insight.
Honestly, the player I'm looking forward to seeing most is Jetson Halliday III from Cascadia.
Whoa.
Really excited to see him. I mean, I like what I saw from him in the few pickup games we saw. Kick and shoot, man. Kick and shoot. And Cascadia needs that. For all the talk about, the reigning trades not being able to shoot last year, Cascadia didn't do well either.
No.
They also weren't ranked in the top 10 in field goal percentage or 3-point shooting. So looking forward to see how Halliday there helps them out.
No, I totally feel that one. And I would go there with you too. I remember watching, we were checking out that pickup game the other day, and dude was talk about firing on all cylinders. I mean, he was putting it up and knocking it down. Then with the red hair too, it's kind of wild, right? So
yeah.
And then then he comes out and he talks that talk. Big fan of his myself. I actually wanted to go a little different direction, and I'm talking the originators, man. They signed this kid, Jared Queenie, about 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". You never know what they really are. But dude can score. Tatted up as a kid, you know what I mean? Coming out of the Boston area. You got to love it. He's brash. He talks a lot. We heard a lot about what he had to say. And he has a complete game. So Jared Queenie from the originators is one of the guys I'm really looking forward to seeing. And then I would say, as far as who I'm looking to see how they fill out their roster, Run DMV, man, they did not get a lot going in the early commitment period, and we all know who they lost in CKC, but let's not forget they lost Khalil Erickson, who was a very big part of their team. They lost Jeremiah McLaughlin and Keith Anthony, who held down their defense, and pretty much just everyone else on the team not named Brandon Smith. So what are they going to do? That's what I'm looking forward to, So early commitments looking – holding on, but there's a lot to figure out there.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of your last one there for needs, I want to see how the Rocky Mountain Monsters address their needs. And personally, I think that one thing they're looking for, or that they need, are athletes, kids who can run the floor. And that athleticism also goes into the defensive end, which I actually spoke to Coach Robinson a few weeks ago about his recruiting plans, and he wants to attack defense. He said that he wants to look at that first and foremost. He said that they had trouble last season closing out games, maintaining big leads, and getting stops in tight games.
Oh man!
And they want to go and look for defensive presences, maybe people who can't go out and get 20 or 30 points, but can come in and, back down guys, something like so that way Gaffney and Ireland can go do their thing.
Well, look at that. You coming through with the inside information on the post up. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, they're definitely going to need what you just stated. They need athleticism. I think outside of Gaffney Ward, Kenneth Gaffney's little brother or little big brother, standing at about 6'6", right, 6'7". He showed some bunny hops in some of these pickup games, but outside of that, he had some verticality, but not a lot of athleticism. And then, they lost Brian Vaughn. Say what you want to say about Big Vaughn, but he had a back to the basket game. He could put it. At least he was a threat down there, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So good points. I mean, I think there's a few other teams we could probably talk about here. We could talk about Gotham 5 as they pretty much lost everyone as well, but they're in that NYC metro area, so they have a lot of talent to pull from, and even more so, they only have a couple of slots to draft from. So I know they're in the mix in there with that DJ Wagner and Mackenzie and Mbaku.
Look at it, brother. How you say that name? Mbako. All right.
I don't know.
I thought it was.
You know what I'm talking about, that guy. So, yeah, they have some guys on deck. And before we move on this topic, man, definitely want to get your thoughts on it because you still got Showtime out there. You hear the rumors that came out yesterday about Keyshawn Everett taking over this team. But the bigger deal, in my opinion, is they picked up some solid guys in the early commitment phase. But we still don't know if the Jameses, along with Mikey Williams, who said he wasn't going to be joining the SimWorld Hoops League. But there's quite a few other talents out there in L.A. that could really put this team over the edge. You got any thoughts on that, B-Ron?
So I will say that if the James brothers do decide to stay in L.A. and play with Showtime basketball, I feel like there's no way that Keyshawn Everett passes up that opportunity to go there and coach those kids, despite what I might want to see as far as that storyline working out for him with reigning trades and how that whole situation went down between him being fired and then being brought back on to finish out the year. And, it's a whole thing over there. He didn't have a chance to get comfortable over there, and he might want to run it back with those guys. But, like I said, if the James kids decide to go for Showtime, there's no way he doesn't follow them and try to coach them up and try to make Showtime basketball a thing like he could not do with reigning trades, unfortunately.
Right. And then, Showtime basketball, if they did pick up the James brothers, I don't have any info on this, that will be a pretty disgusting team. I think everybody would like to see them join the SimWorld Hoops League. I think everybody would be excited about the prospect of them playing on the same squad and getting to see it. Everyone in the world except for one person. Shout out Big Bob. We're going to keep it moving here. Let's move on to our next topic, number 2 on 3 in the key, contenders or pretenders. Earlier yesterday, I think everyone had their input. We put it out there with B-Ron. Go ahead, man. Tell me. Let's verbalize. Put it into the atmosphere. What were your thoughts on the contenders and pretenders, good sir?
Yes. So my 3 contenders are Southeast Select, Gotham 5, and Run DMV. Gotham 5 and Run DMV simply because those 2 teams have, in my opinion, or as of right now, the best coaches in SimWorld. In Tim Bellardi for Gotham 5 and Myron Murray for Run DMV. And then for Southeast Select, they had defensive-minded coach Brad Lee over there, and they had the returning star in Trey Turner. Now, for those who are unaware, all 3 of these teams have some of the winningest coaches in SimWorld Hoops as of right now. Tim Bellardi is number 1 in wins, Brad Lee is number 3, and Murray's number 6. So all these coaches have proven that they can win. And they did that last season very well. Unfortunately, Gotham 5 and Run DMV unable to make the championship game like we would have wanted to see. But it happens. However, new season coming up, all 3 of these teams are definitely contenders.
Yeah.
Well, your contenders, then we'll get to pretenders afterwards.
My contender, I like how you went about that. So my contenders, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to say in this segment probably contradicts everything I said earlier and what I may have put out there in the feed on Discord. So my pretenders, I'm going Best Coast Ballers and I'm going Rocky Mountain Monsters. Real simple. Best Coast Ballers are bringing back essentially the same stars that they had last year. They're bringing back Montel Cage, who I consider the best pure point guard that we had in the league last season. Major, big-time playmaker, great defender, and just an all-around smart basketball player and can knock down the open shot. And then LDO. They got Lace Darius Outlaw coming back. He heard he's grown just a little bit. He's still going to give you buckets. I'm hoping he has something to prove after how everything went down to end the season with the injuries and him not, in my opinion, not living up to his potential in those big moments, because we know he's clutch. We've seen it, but he kind of fell apart late there in the season. So, yeah, they're there, and then they've added a few people. This Evangelos Mullins kid, freak athlete out of Antioch, California, 6'7", 230. Man, and you pair him with Lene Newman. And they brought in some other guys. There's this kid out of Alaska, Hugo Fields. I'm going to cheer for him just because he's out of Alaska. I don't know what kind of ball they're playing out there. But, I think they're a hardcore contender. And then for my other contender, I was going Rocky Mountain Monsters just because, they simply loaded up, man. I know you had them on your list earlier, talking about, where you want to see what they're going to do. But They still got Ireland early. I know he didn't put up major numbers last year, but dude was a knockdown shooter. Everyone wants to talk about Trey Turner. I think he led the league in 3-point percentage. He just didn't get all the looks. Kenneth Gaffney in the pickup games we've seen, I know they're just pickup games. He's looked damn good. He's looked assertive. He really has. And lastly, you add his brother to the team, DeJuan Gaffney Ward. He showed some hops, but Daquan McDougal III, I think you and I both checked that game out together. Montana is back in the house. He was out there giving some bigs the business, if you recall. I cannot remember who was last year's bigs. I think he was going to work on shoot, man, I can't remember, but he was giving them. Yeah. Was it Tyson? Was it Tyson Simpson?
It may have been Tyson. Tyson Simpson, yeah.
All I know is we were watching like, my God, how is he just handling him like that? So I think they're the contenders. I know I took a minute on that one, but I think everybody might want to watch out, and they still have some recruiting still left to do. So looking pretty deep to me.
Oh yeah, no, that's all good, all good. And my pretenders, I have Cascadia, Gulf Coast Lockdown, and SimWorld Europe. For the simple fact that all three of those teams lost a star or key players.
Yeah.
Cascadia no longer having DJ Childs or Cody Johnson. Gulf Coast Select no longer having D. Willie, which was about him, but he was the focal point of that team. He made that team what it was, in my opinion. And then SimWorld Europe no longer having Marcelo Nocioni, the number one ranked player to begin last season for SimWorld Hoops, for SimWorld Europe. Yeah. So hopefully having to replace talent of that caliber is going to be difficult for all of these teams. But so that's why I don't know if they're all going to be what we think they are going to be coming into the new year. I will say this though, to cap my bid off, that it really doesn't matter at this point, because those games haven't played yet. We haven't actually seen any teams on the court yet. So until we see them on the court, until we get 5, 10, 20 games in, everything is up for grabs pretty much.
Well played there, giving yourself the easy out, B-Run.
Of course.
Look, I'm going to touch on yours really quick. Cascadia, I couldn't add them to my pretenders list because I don't think they're pretending anything. They're going to suck. They lost everybody. I don't think anybody, just because they won the championship, all of their talent was outgoing. And then on Europe, I digress on that one, or I'm sorry, I disagree. They're big, man. And we saw last year that size matters with Africa. That's a big squad, yeah. And I'm hoping to see big things from Henrik Vekic. There was a really good article on him yesterday called The House of Vekic, done by, Real GM. So good stuff out there. But so for my pretenders, here we go. So after everything that I just said, right, I do have Bad Boys Basketball and Showtime Basketball. Yeah, so Bad Boys Basketball, everyone has them as the consensus, top team, or not everyone, but I just want to see how it's going to work out. Here's my take. They were very good. They have skilled players. We know, I love Lorenzo Phenom.
Me too,
who doesn't, right? And then you got a kid named Cash Ruffin, like what a cool name, and Bo Pagnotti and the Pagnotti Posse. I'm all over this team for how hard they play and what they can do offensively. Now, defensively, they lost my main man, Roderick Little. They lost a couple other bigs that actually just held them down defensively. I haven't had a chance to see what they do, but none of those three names that I just mentioned got it done on the defensive end. So I don't care if you score 95 points. If you let the other team score 96, you're going to lose. Bad Boys Basketball, they're supposed to be rough and rugged. I want to see if they're going to do it on the defensive end. If not, they are absolutely pretenders because the expectation is so high, but they're going to have to get it done defensively. So I got those guys there. And then lastly, to contradict everything that I just said earlier, I got Showtime Basketball as well as a pretender, just simply because I think the expectations are going to be so high for them. I'm assuming they're going to get some kind of big name. I mean, it's LA, right? I'm assuming they're going to land somebody. Yeah. If it's not Bronny, if it's not Bryce or Mikey, who else? There's a slew of other big names out there in the recruiting ranks that could land on this team. And, that's a lot of different play styles. That's a lot of different egos. And I think it's the same thing we always see. The same thing we see on the Lakers, right? I'm not going to get into pro basketball, but a lot of different people doing their own thing is hard to make work together with the team. So I think those are my pretenders. Showtime basketball, Bad Boys, or Showtime basketball and Bad Boys basketball. Maybe they both need to change their names to Showtime and Bad Boys Pretenders. We'll see. But look,
we shall see, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of that last topic. We're going to our third and final 3 in the key. Oh boy, Bleacher Report's top 5 list dropped earlier in the day yesterday. Man, what do you think about it? What do you think about those lists? Did anything jump out at you? Were you reminded of anybody's skill set looking at that list? You think anything was off point, off putting? What you got?
Nothing really stood out to me too much personally, but I will say that I was reminded of the fact that looking at that best post scorer list and seeing the top 2 on that list being Lorenzo Phenom and Tyson Simpson, I feel like this coming season with the controversy and things surrounding Tyson Simpson, I feel like he is going to be in a position where both him and Lorenzo Phenom are going to be battling all year for that top spot on that best post scorer list. Even if it's not, official as we get forward into the season, they're going to see that now and they're going to look at it and use that for fuel coming into the season. Yeah. So those two, I feel like it's going to be a fun matchup to see how that plays and how that discussion comes around this season between those two being the quote-unquote best big in SimWorld. We know we had that discussion last year a lot with Johnny Baldwin and JJ and JJ, those two kids. And there were other ones in there too that crept up that list, but it ultimately ended up being Jameson Johnson.
Let me. I'm gonna run through these real quick and see if you agree with them. We okay to play that game real quick, B-Run?
Of course.
I will say before I get started real quick, DJ Wagner, #1 most deadly scorer. He's not even on a team yet. I don't know that I can argue with that, but bold statement by Bleacher Report to go ahead and throw him out there as season 1 of SimWorld Hoops most deadly scorer. He better live up to that. Do you agree with him being #1?
I mean,
we're gonna do a quick go or no.
I'm gonna have to say no, just 'cause I haven't seen a whole lot of him as of right now. I know he has a name recognition, but I haven't seen a whole lot of him. I would probably put Trey Turner on that personally.
Interesting. Check out. Be sure to check out the pickup games. He's been in action with some of our guys here. Lorenzo Phenom, #1 post scorer. You on board with that?
Yep, one A, one B between him and Simpson.
Hey, 2 different styles. Tyson's just gonna back you down, give you the shoulder, give you that old Shaq treatment. Lorenzo's gonna give you everything. Yeah, I like his guy. I love his game. Best pure shooter, Trey Turner.
Yeah, that's simple, cut and dry, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going Ireland early. I'm just, hey, why not? Okay. Why not just start some? We'll go back and look at the percentages. Evangelos Mullins is best in-game dunker. I guess that's based off of some things they saw in-game last season, right? But you on board with that? We have seen him in some pickup action. What you think here?
We have. I feel like, yeah, that fits for right now.
Hey, I remember watching LeBron being 6'7", 230 in high school. I don't think you stop that. If it can jump at that age group, if that weight and body style can jump at that age, yeah, he can dunk when he wants. Best pure playmaker, Montel Cage. You on board?
Most definitely on board with that. I really like Cage's game, and I'm excited to see what he does in season 1 coming up.
Good deal. Small sample size for us last season, but best ball handler, JJ Ruff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely have to agree with that one as well. So like you said, small sample size, but sometimes that's all you need to get a feel for kids' talent like that.
Yeah. Here we go. International flavor making the list. Best on-ball defenders, Ajif Fabenle out of Africa.
I love Fabenle. I love that kid. He's a very talented defender. And as someone who was a pesky defender myself when I played basketball, I like that. I like that most definitely.
I'm on board with that too. There was a couple of new names that made the list there. I'm excited to see Jackson Glenn, Braxton Schuyler, Shake Travis, and Hugo Fields, who is new to SimWorld High School or SimWorld Hoops. So we'll see what Bleacher Report knows here. All right, best pure rebounders. Houston in the house. H-Town, Aaron Matthews.
Aaron Matthews, that's a good pick. I like that. I like him being number one on that list for sure. Rebounding is definitely an art, and it's one of those things that goes unnoticed a lot of times by a lot of people. So to be recognized like that is very, very good.
Yeah, hustle. Most athletic players, Yacht Club in the house, Dominic Bianco.
Really, really like Bianco in his game. I am still kind of reeling from the Chad Smith situation.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they can find a coach that'll come in and allow Bianco and the other kids to shine like they should, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Bianco is one of those kids that it doesn't matter where you put him at, he's going to find a way to get his shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Athleticism kills at this level. So, moving on to fastest players, again, topping that list, Dominic Bianco. You agree with this one?
I gotta have a race, man. We gotta put him in a race. Him and the number 2 guy, put him in a race. And we'll
Ryan
see.
Fugate. Yeah, we may have to take a look at that. But as of right now, Dominic Bianco, I'm naming him Pew. That's his nickname. Strongest players, Tyson Simpson. Number 1, you on board with that?
Definitely on board with that. We saw what he could do last season in the post, and I think that he's going to be tough to stop again this year, especially again given all the things that have happened to him over the course of the offseason, all the talk that's been around him.
Hey, and maybe he's hit the weight room a little bit more. I can't tell you number 2 on that list, Jalen Tucker out of the North. Hearing rumors that he has hit the weight room, and my man is sitting at 6'7" or whatever height he is, 260 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Yikes. All right, and then finally, most clutch player, Trey Turner.
Yeah, I think that is a cut and dry answer for this spot right now, just because of what we saw him do last season in the tournament. You know, he hit some shots, man, that I was like, how in the world?
Rapid succession.
Just shake your head and laugh. Like, how do you do that?
Hope he gets more touches this year. Interestingly enough, there are 3 newbies to the scene on that list. So my man Marsh brought that up earlier yesterday. He's like, hey, it's funny how you gauge who was most clutch before they played a game in our league. But hey, Bleacher Report's seen some things we haven't seen. It's not all applicable to our league. It's about who's joining our league and what they bring to the table. But excellent list there, man. Hey, it's been good having you here yet again. Loving to do this here weekly with you. With the post up, we've had 3 in the key, man. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I got nothing else, man. Thank you for having me as always. I appreciate it. It's good to be back, and hopefully we can continue to do this week in, week out. And hey, back them down, man.
Hey, we're gonna back them down, but we also gonna put this up real quick. Lakers suck. We out of here. Peace.